Jimmy Uso just sent the wrestling world into absolute chaos by confirming that he's joining Cody Rhodes' team for the Wargames match, and this alliance is about to turn Survivor Series into the most explosive event of the entire year. Smash that subscribe button immediately, because what's coming next is going to blow your mind and you need to be here for every jaw-dropping moment. Jimmy Uso stood in front of the cameras and made the announcement that nobody predicted, declaring his spot on Cody Rhodes' Wargames squad for Survivor Series. The revelation came out of nowhere and instantly became the hottest topic across every social media platform as fans tried to process how this partnership even came together. Jimmy has been on his own journey since splitting from the Bloodline and finding his individual identity, while Cody has been leading his own charge toward championship glory and wrestling immortality. These two coming together creates a combination that their opponents should absolutely fear. Cody Rhodes building his Wargames team has been a calculated process because he knows that one wrong choice could cost them everything inside that steel structure. Wargames demands trust, communication, and the ability to work as a cohesive unit under the most brutal conditions imaginable. Cody selecting Jimmy Uso shows tremendous confidence in Jimmy's abilities and character, because Cody wouldn't bring someone onto his team unless he believed that person could handle the pressure and deliver when it matters most. Jimmy has proven throughout his entire career that he excels in chaotic environments and thrives when the stakes are at their highest. The Bloodline connection adds layers of intrigue to this entire situation, because Jimmy walking away from that family structure was one of the most significant decisions of his career. He spent years as part of Roman Reigns' dominant faction, helping the tribal chief maintain control over WWE and crushing anyone who stood in their path. That chapter closed when Jimmy decided he needed to find out who he was without Roman calling the shots and without living in anyone's shadow. Now he's aligned with Cody Rhodes, who has his own complicated history with Roman and the Bloodline, creating potential for incredible drama when Wargames finally happens. Roman Reigns being part of Cody's Wargames team makes Jimmy's addition even more fascinating, because these two have unresolved issues that stretch back through years of family conflict and professional tension. Jimmy and Roman were once brothers in arms, fighting side by side, but betrayals and broken trust destroyed that bond and left scars that may never fully heal. Wargames forces them into a situation where they have to coexist and work together toward a common goal despite all the baggage between them. Can they put personal feelings aside for the sake of winning the match, or will old wounds reopen at the worst possible time? Uso factors into this equation in a major way, because the twin brothers have been on separate paths ever since they stopped teaming together as one of the greatest duos in WWE history. G has found success as a singles competitor and carved out his own identity separate from his family legacy. Jimmy taking this spot on Cody's team could bring him closer to reuniting with his brother, or it could drive a deeper wedge between them depending on how everything plays out. The possibility of both Usos being involved in Wargames on the same team would be a dream scenario for fans who have missed seeing them together. Cody's leadership style differs completely from what Jimmy experienced under Roman's rule, because Cody leads through inspiration and partnership rather than fear and dominance. Cody treats his teammates as equals and values their input instead of demanding blind obedience to his vision. This approach resonates with Jimmy, who spent too long being told what to do and how to act by Roman. Working with Cody gives Jimmy the freedom to be himself and contribute his ideas without worrying about stepping on anyone's ego or facing punishment for speaking up. The mutual respect between them forms the foundation for a strong partnership. The opponents they'll face in Wargames are assembling their own dangerous team filled with killers who want nothing more than to destroy Cody Rhodes and everyone standing beside him. These opponents have been waiting for their opportunity to prove they belong at the top of WWE, and Wargames gives them the perfect platform to make that statement. They've studied Cody's tendencies, identified potential weaknesses in his team, and developed strategies designed to exploit any cracks in their armor. Jimmy's addition forces them to adjust their game plan because he brings a completely different skill set and mindset to the match. Training camp for Team Cody has intensified now that Jimmy is officially part of the roster, because they need to develop chemistry and timing before stepping into that cage. Wargames rewards teams that function as a single organism, anticipating each other's moves and covering weaknesses seamlessly. Jimmy's tag team background gives him natural instincts for working with partners and understanding positioning in multi-person scenarios. He spent his entire career perfecting the art of teamwork, and those skills become invaluable when you're locked in Wargames with chaos erupting all around you. The steel cage structure of Wargames creates an environment unlike anything else in professional wrestling, because there's no escape and nowhere to hide from the violence. Two rings side by side surrounded by unforgiving steel with weapons scattered throughout means that every bump hurts more and every impact echoes through your entire body. Jimmy has competed in cage matches before and understands the psychological toll that being trapped takes on competitors. The walls close in, options narrow, and desperation sets in as the match progresses. Mental toughness becomes just as important as physical ability. Cody's vision for how this team should operate revolves around everyone contributing their unique strengths while supporting each other through the difficult moments. He knows that Wargames tests endurance, willpower, and the bonds between teammates in ways that regular matches never could. Cody has handpicked each member of his squad based on specific qualities they bring to the table, and Jimmy's selection fills a crucial role. Jimmy's experience in high-pressure situations combined with his willingness to sacrifice his body for the win makes him the exact type of person Cody wants beside him when the fight gets ugly. The weapons aspect of Wargames plays directly into Jimmy's wheelhouse because he's never been afraid to get hardcore when the situation demands it. Steel chairs, kendo sticks, tables, and whatever else teams can smuggle into the structure all become legal once the match begins. Jimmy knows how to use weapons effectively without being reckless, picking his spots and maximizing damage when he strikes. A perfectly timed chair shot to an opponent's skull can shift momentum entirely and create openings for teammates to capitalize on. The strategic use of weapons often determines who walks out victorious. Solo Sikoa looms as a potential opponent on the other side of this Wargames match, and that creates personal stakes for Jimmy beyond just winning for his team. Jimmy and Solo have history that includes both cooperation and conflict, with respect mixed together with rivalry. Solo has established himself as one of the most physically imposing forces in WWE, and his presence in Wargames would guarantee brutal exchanges. If Jimmy ends up across the ring from Solo when that cage door closes, fans are going to witness a collision between two Samoans who know each other's strengths and weaknesses intimately. The crowd support for Team Cody has been building steadily, and Jimmy joining the roster only amplifies that energy because fans love an underdog story and they love seeing people stand up against tyranny. Cody represents hope and possibility for a better future in WWE, while his opponents often represent the old guard trying to maintain control through force and intimidation. Jimmy aligning with Cody's side sends a clear message about what he values and what he's willing to fight for. The WWE Universe will be firmly behind them when Wargames begins, and that energy can fuel incredible comebacks when things look darkest. Survivor Series keeps getting bigger and more important with each name added to the Wargames teams, and Jimmy USO confirming his spot takes the anticipation to another level entirely. This isn't just another match on the card. This is a main event attraction that will have fans on the edge of their seats from the moment the first competitor enters until the final pinfall or submission. WWE has masterfully built this spectacle, and Jimmy's involvement guarantees that casual fans and hardcore enthusiasts alike will be tuning in to see what happens. The strategy sessions leading up to Survivor Series involve breaking down opponent tendencies, planning double-team sequences, and determining who enters the cage at what intervals. The order of entry can dramatically affect how the match flows because entering first means enduring the longest punishment, while entering last gives you fresh legs against exhausted opponents. Cody and Jimmy will be working together with their teammates to develop the optimal strategy that plays to everyone's strengths while minimizing exposure to danger. These planning sessions forge bonds between team members that extend beyond the match itself. Jimmy's family will undoubtedly be watching when Wargames goes down at Survivor Series, and their reactions to seeing him in this environment alongside these specific teammates will be fascinating to observe. Wrestling families are complicated, with loyalty often conflicting with individual ambition and personal relationships straining under the weight of professional competition. Jimmy has chosen his path and committed to this team, but that doesn't mean the emotional toll of potentially facing family members in combat won't affect him. Wargames could force Jimmy into situations where he has to make impossible choices between team loyalty and family bonds. The physical toll that Wargames takes on participants is well documented, with wrestlers needing weeks to recover from the punishment absorbed inside that cage. Bodies get battered, bones get bruised, and scars get earned in exchanges that push human limits. Jimmy understands the cost of entry, and he's willing to pay that price for the opportunity to be part of something historic alongside Cody Rhodes. The short-term pain becomes worthwhile when you're creating moments that fans remember forever and establishing your legacy as someone who showed up when the stakes were highest. Promotional material for Survivor Series now features Jimmy prominently as part of Team Cody, and the marketing machine behind WWE is in full effect, building anticipation for this collision. Video packages showing Jimmy's journey from Bloodline member to independent warrior tell a compelling story that resonates with audiences. The narrative of redemption and finding your own path connects emotionally with viewers who see parallels to their own lives. WWE understands that great storytelling elevates matches from athletic competitions into cultural moments, and they're crafting that story beautifully around this War Games match. Don't forget to subscribe because the road to Survivor Series is only getting more intense, and you'll want complete coverage of every twist and turn as Team Cody prepares to enter War Games with Jimmy USO ready for battle.